Hey students, welcome to one more lesson. Students, in this class, we are going to see one more important and interesting topic, that is Golgi operators. Students, we had been learning some interesting cell organelles from the chapter Cell, the Basic Unit of Life. Dear students, in this moment, I would like to explain one more interesting cell organelle, that is Golgi operators. So, the Golgi operators as an important cell organelle. How can you determine a Golgi operators? What is the location of Golgi operators in the cell or in the cell cytoplasm? For all these questions, we have to find out the answer. Let us see, with the help of diagrammatic representations and with the help of some functions, I would like to display the Golgi operators. Do you know a scientist namely Camillo Golgi, who is known for discovery of an apparatus called Golgi operators for the first time? You can see that scientist in the given figure. You can see the Camillo Golgi, who is well known for the discovery of structure, namely Camillo Golgi. As per the hypothesis and experimentation methods of Camillo Golgi, he discovered that the Golgi operator is responsible for the packing of food materials. How does a Golgi operator packing the food materials? We have to find out the answers. Do you know Golgi operators helps in the process of making or processing macromolecules? Suppose here the micromolecules have to be packed into large complex structures called macromolecules. So these macromolecules, which includes proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, etc. So here macromolecules are formed by the micromolecules. Suppose take amino acids. Suppose take an amino acids. These amino acids are gets packed into proteins with the help of the important structure called Golgi operators. If you see the structure of a Golgi operators, the Golgi operators generally made up of four different types of parts. There are important four major parts are seen in the Golgi operators. What are those? Let us see. The first part is here. The Golgi operators contains vesicles, vacuoles, and the cisternae, and finally the fourth one, tubules. So the four major important structures of the Golgi operators as given in vesicles, vacuoles, cisternae, tubules. Okay. So if you see the vesicles, if you see the vacuoles, if you see the cisternae, if you see the tubules, they do have some certain kind of functions. Let us see what are those functions. Among these four major parts, among these given four major parts, cisternae, if you take the cisternae is essential, it is an essential structure which is an important structure. Here, cisternae, if you take the cisternae, the convex surface of the cisternae is towards the nucleus. The convex surface of the Golgi operators is towards the nucleus. You know very well about convex surface. Already you have learned in the physics. Whereas if you see the concave surface of the Golgi operators is towards the cytoplasmic skeleton or cytoplasm. So nucleus gives a host for convex surface of the Golgi operators, which is there in the cisternae, that is called as cis phase, and whereas the concave surface is trans phase. What are the important functions of cis phase and trans phase? If you see the cis phase helps in the process of receiving micromaterials. Whereas if you see the trans phase helps in the process of production of macromolecules. So the cis phase generally receives some important micronutrients or micromolecules from endoplasmic reticulum. whereas transphase converts these micromolecules into macromolecules in the form of macromolecules or complex structures. So in this way, the cis phase of the Golgi operators and transphase of the Golgi operators both are different. So let us see one more interesting point or remaining parts of Golgi operators. Suppose take vesicles. How these vesicles looks like? These vesicles are tube-like structures. Generally, these are tube-like structures which are there on the surface of Golgi operators. These tubules are stretched and elongated. You can see in the diagram how these tubules are looks like. These tubules generally receiving micromolecules and undergoes for processing. Whereas if you see the vacuoles, how these vacuoles looks like? As you know, these are round or disc-shaped structures. The round and disc-shaped structures are called vacuoles, where the process of mechanism of packing of food materials generally takes place. Whereas finally, you can see the cisternae and tubules as explained. And basically, the Golgi operators performs some certain kind of functions. What are the functions of Golgi operators? We have some certain kind of functions. Let us see the functions of Golgi operator. First function is the Golgi operators helps in the process of making acrosome of sperm cell during spermatogenesis. What do you mean by spermatogenesis? The process of production of sperm cells from the testes is called as spermatogenesis. The acrosome, whatever present in the sperm cell, it was produced, it was made by Golgi operators. Okay. Not only making the acrosome, and also it performs some other functions. As you can see in the figure, in this figure, as you can see how the micromolecules are entering into the Golgi operators, and thereafter how these macromolecules are coming out of the transphase of the Golgi operators. Clear, students? And also it does some other functions. What other functions are done by the Golgi operators? There are many kind of functions, especially during process of making cell membrane generally synthesized. You know that the cell membrane contains two lipid layers, first lipid layer and second lipid layers. So these two lipid layers made or synthesized or converted by Golgi operators. Do you know these lipid layers plays an important role in the osmosis and diffusion and the filtration of various substances which are entering into the cell? So by making these lipid layers, the Golgi operators helps to cell membrane for making a protective coat, a protective skeleton around the cell. Not only making a cell membrane, and also during formation of cytoplasmic granules or cytoplasm. During synthesis of cytoplasm, the Golgi operators plays an important role. During cell division, during the process of cell division, there are prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. During this process, spindle fibers along with this cytoplasm and nucleoplasm get separated. During this process, during making the cytoskeleton at the middle of the cell, during this cell division process, the Golgi operators plays an important role. As you can see in the diagram, how the macromolecules are coming out of the transphase. You can see in the figure, these macromolecules are coming out of this Golgi operators. So, not only this, for the process of lipogenesis, what do you mean by lipogenesis? The process of formation of lipids is called as lipogenesis. For the process of lipogenesis, the Golgi operators plays an important role. As you can see in the figure, how these lipids are get synthesized by the Golgi operators. So, the four major functions were explained by Golgi operators with the help of his theories. Clear, students? In the next coming video, we'll see one more interesting cell organelle. Until be safe, stay tuned, have a nice day.